Hey guys, this is Emily. We are also the Beast. Rawr. We are also Jack. What's going on with all of our TikTok followers? Welcome everyone to the PW Fan, the ultimate pro wrestling podcast created by fans for the fans. And this is episode
Are we keeping that intro?
Oh yeah, we're keeping that in there.
We're keeping all of this in there. Okay.
Guys, we're back. I am your host, collector, barber, musician, a professional wrestling podcaster, and most recently, I'm a bit of a Nintendo 64 enthusiast. Talk wrestling, Tim Gilbert. Let me pass it over to the Beast. Let me pass it over to the man himself, Booker Andy.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast, Emily. No, Booker Andy.
What's going on?
God. All right.
Followers.
I'm also your host of No Sun Wrestling Indie fan and football lover, Jeremy.
Please explain that intro to
I'm
me.
not gonna do
Well, we watched Split once, and now we all have
that.
we have multiple personalities. No, there is an unfortunate individual that we came across who
Unfortunate.
who claims that they have three different personalities that they four. Sorry, there's Aiden, the Beast,
Emily, the Beast,
Emily, and Jack. The Beast is my favorite, but I'm not trying to make light of their situation, but let's put it this way: they flow seamlessly in and out of character. It seems between said individuals. All right, let's talk pro wrestling, guys. Let's get through all this silly stuff. All right, today we will be discussing and reviewing this week's World of Professional Wrestling, including the King of Queens. Oh, sorry, hang on, not the King of Queens, the King and Queen.
Kevin James.
Kevin James, the King of Queens. No,
King and Queen of the
King
Ring.
and
tournament.
Queen of the Ring predictions. We're going to be talking Double or Nothing predictions because we got two pay-per-views coming up. We've got a Saturday and Sunday night. We're going to be doing a review of the Iron Claw, which we all just finished, and I finished about 40 minutes ago, and I'm emotionally wrecked, emotionally stunted. I need therapy now. It was very sick. And before
Now
we
you
start,
do?
well, I always did, but now I just just solidifies it. Before we get started, go to YouTube. You can find us by putting in / the PW Fan Pod. Please like, subscribe. That really helps us out. I know we joke around a lot on this show, but if I could just be serious for 1 second, you guys adding us, following us on social media actually does go a long way for us. So if you don't mind, thank you so much. For shirts, prowrestlingtees.com / the PW Fan, 5 different designs. We will be getting some more made. You know, these designs aren't cheap, and I love you, Dan, but you got me paying for them, brother. Yeah, he's got me putting the work in, brother.
There could be the Joker one coming pretty soon.
The Joker, Joker Jeremy, maybe something with Emily or the Beast. You know, I'm thinking maybe like a collab of some kind. All right, Andy. Episode 130. Take it away. We got some serious topics to talk about.
So
what about? Hang on, just real quick. What about the PW Fan X the Beast? Like a joint release.
X the
Beast. All right. My endorsement will not be on that. So Dark Side of the Ring ended last week, or maybe the week before. I don't know. We skipped last week, but we didn't talk about the finale. But the finale was about Black Saturday, which is known in the wrestling world when Vince McMahon basically got rid of the territories. Tim, what do you know about that time period?
Off the top of my head, because actually this is the only episode I haven't watched yet of the new season of Dark Side. From what I understand, I mean, this is basically where he went in and took it. WCW had a time slot on, I believe it was TBS, and Vince came in and kind of from under their noses took the took the time slot, but then the fans rejected it, and for like $1 million, I think WCW or Jim Crockett Promotions got the time slot back. And the story that I've read is Vince said something to them like, "You're gonna choke on that $1 million," and then he took that $1 million and made WrestleMania. So that's the version I've heard. But there's lots of people claim that they were the ones that funded WrestleMania and got screwed over. So there's multiple stories, but that's one of the ones I've heard.
Now, I know WCW was NWA. Did WCW come about when this happened?
So, well, Jim Crockett Promotions was WCW. NWA was like the kind of the head branch of like the territory of wrestling.
Oh, that's
Jim
right. Never
Crockett-
mind. You went over it with me the other night. Yeah. We were talking about.
Yeah,
Or during
Jim
Iron
Crockett
Claw, we were
Promotions
talking
was
about.
the North Carolina promotion, with that everybody refers to as like early WCW, and then Ted Turner bought that and made WCW.
Gotcha. The last 2 episodes of Rivals came out. It was Seth Rollins and Triple H, and then Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. The Seth Rollins and Triple H one was interesting in particular because I guess I didn't know, maybe I forgot that during Seth's like NXT days, the people in the back, like Terry Taylor, were like, "Do not like put the strap on this guy." They're like, "He's great in the ring and stuff, but like his attitude towards everything was just like wrong." And Triple H basically told him to get his act together, and Seth didn't like being told what to do or how to be in the ring, and he almost basically told Triple H to go fuck himself, he said. Because he was like, "Can I say what I really wanted to say?" Or just, and he's like, "No, say it." He's like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "I wanted to tell him to go fuck himself." But then it got me thinking also, so he was the inaugural NXT champion, and he was the inaugural World Heavyweight champion for this new one. So that's kind of cool, but
Yeah, he's Triple H's guy now. Or
yeah, but
his,
they were showing all stuff from
Terry
like him being the
Taylor-
architect.
Terry
I was
Taylor was
"Oh, I
like,
love
"Don't-"
that Seth Rollins."
Terry Taylor was like, "Don't put the strap on this guy, but you got any hot chicks around? That's what I'm interested in.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
women." I'm Terry Taylor. I'm the Red Rooster.
So let's we're gonna get this out of the way early. Iron Claw. All right, now I'm gonna go into certain topics, so don't just be talking about certain things until I get to it, and then we'll talk about other stuff. Right? Iron Claw. Overall review. What did you guys think of the movie?
I thought it was very good.
Excellent
Sad,
movie.
but it was very good.
Yeah, excellent movie. Definitely a watch once or twice only, like Joker or like Requiem for a Dream, or like any of those movies where you just feel empty on the inside after watching them. It's not happy. I would almost
First half
give it.
is happy-ish.
Yeah,
Second half is not.
I would almost give it a perfect score, except for one
We'll
part.
talk
which
about it.
I said we'll wait.
Yeah.
There's only one
All
part
right.
that ruined it.
So speaking
Yeah.
about that, let's talk about good casting choices. The dad was a very good casting choice, I
Yeah.
thought.
I mean, they nailed
I thought
Fritz.
so.
They nailed him.
That was perfect, yeah.
Bruiser Brody was a good cast.
I mean,
and then did you know Gino?
Andy and I both said last night that, look, Carrie and Kevin, Zac Efron and, well, I always call him Lip from Shameless.
Yeah, I
but,
call him Lip too.
But what's his
Jeremy
real...
Allen White.
Yeah, so
Jeremy Allen White, yeah.
Look, they don't look like how the actual guys did. I mean, maybe a little bit.
Besides the hair.
But
yeah, they got the hair.
Andy and I were
Efron's fucking
saying,
Buzz Lightyear, man.
someone
I hate it.
Someone don't make fun of Zac Efron's face. Come on, he's been through a lot.
Oh, okay. Says the man that was doing it all last night. You're the one that came up with Buzz Lightyear.
Come on, don't put me on blast.
Also, like Zac Efron just looking like that, like the build that he was in, it was just like odd to me.
Dude, it's like when I watched Ricky Stenicki with him. I just kept looking at his fucking jaw. I was just like, God.
Just
The
love that
crimson
jaw.
chin up in here.
Dude, the crimson chin. So yeah, so
You're saying Jeremy Allen White and Zach, you
yeah,
need someone to sell the
you
movie
need
there,
someone
and
to
they're
sell
great actors.
tickets. They're
Yeah.
great actors, regardless of his defined jaw. And you know, you need someone to put butts in seats. So I understand the casting choices for that.
And I'm also like okay with it because especially after hearing like you see the interviews they did after the movie, and they talked about like especially Jeremy Allen White and Zac Efron, I think, talked about how much they respect wrestling even more now, just because they had how they had to learn and all the stuff that goes into it. They didn't know.
Yeah,
And I thought that was like pretty cool.
Chavo helped.
Yeah, Chavo helped you.
So Chava helped. Chava was also not the Iron Sheik, but the Sheik. And then Gino, was it Hernandez? He was played by, I don't know why. He was played by Ryan Nemeth, Nick Nemeth's brother.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was cool to see that they had. If you really paid attention to the details of the movie, like seeing Gino, when they were looking at the booking sheet,
oh yeah, they had all the names.
It was all real names. Talking Jerry Jarrett being a character at the end, which is Jeff Jarrett's dad. Even making the guy talk how Jerry Jarrett talked. I mean, there was some good details.
Now we haven't ruined anything or spoiled anything, but we might. So if you're listening and haven't seen it, fast forward. I'm just warning you now.
Like 2-3 minutes.
All right. Also, they did keep at least a little bit of MJF, which was fine to see. Who was Lance
one
Von Erich, which isn't even a brother.
Yeah,
he was just a guy that they're like, you're going to be their cousin, Lance.
Yeah,
because in the documentary, because I think one of the brothers had died at this point, and they were like, all right, you need Fritz was like, you guys need like another Von Erich, and it was like their cousin Lance. But here's the problem: Lance was a local college athlete who actually like did some stuff. So the problem is he started wrestling as Lance Von Erich, and all the local people in Texas were like, hang on, I know that fucking guy. That's the one dude. That's not a Von Erich. So then they actually pissed off the fans because they felt like they were being lied to.
All right, so let's talk about the very worst casting choice. Me and Tim were so into this movie.
The best part of the movie is
I know
it took us out of it.
I'll say this before you go into it. Like I heard about it. Like I heard about this part.
About it,
yeah, and I was like, "Is it that bad?"
I thought it can't be that bad.
Yeah, that's the same thing I said.
So he starts the guy. Okay,
keep in mind, guys.
Right?
Like I just said,
promo backstage.
Well, hang on. I just said this is probably top like 4 or 5 saddest movies I've ever seen, except for this one part where I was literally crying from laughing so hard. Andy and I
turn it off or fast forward.
I told Andy to turn it off or fast forward it because I couldn't take it anymore. I was laughing so hard, and it was ruining the movie for me.
So this guy, the guy that plays Ric Flair, starts cutting a promo backstage, an NWA promo. His cadence and nothing is like Flair, dude. It's like, did you even watch anything that like Flair did?
It felt like a Broadway actor was like, "I will play the role of Ric Flair," haha, and like tried.
And so, dude, if that wasn't bad enough, when he got in the ring and started wrestling, his body type, like, I don't want to body shame the guy, but God, dude, like, it was just a dude.
It made it funnier in the context of what Andy's saying. It's funny when the guy's like cutting the worst promo you've ever heard, and he looks terrible and like doesn't look anything like Ric Flair minus a blonde bad wig. And then right at that moment, they like cut in a scene of him like taking a bump, and he just has like, it looks like I was in there with my shirt off. It's just like, it doesn't.
Oh god.
He's just a
So,
guy.
He didn't even like sound like Flair at all. It's like he did almost like his normal voice. They're like, all right, dude, like Ric Flair, and like it was me. I just started talking like this. That's what it
He
sounded
was
like he did.
And it to me, all I kept hearing was like he was like, "Do you yield?" Like it was like
Yeah.
it was not like a real wrestling promo.
Yeah.
That is but a taste of our fury.
What do you think about the part where like after the match and they're in the locker room and he's like, "Where can we get fucked up around here?" and everything? And he's like, "All right." I'm like, well, "This is Diamond Flair."
I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
Bad. If anybody's ever seen Sting's movie Moment of Truth, which is like his like low budget movie that he put out about his life story, I actually own it. This scene with the Ric Flair part actually feels like a scene that would be in that movie. It's pretty bad.
So, changes to the movie. All right, so there was actually one other brother, which they didn't get into, which was Chris Von Erich,
who plays the part basically of.
So Tim said that you said that they kind of like combined them, but Chris was the youngest, short stature, asthma, and extremely brittle bones.
But he loved wrestling more than the rest of the guys. He wanted to be. Wanted to be a wrestler and make their dad proud, but he was small and had brittle bones and like everything Andy just said, and unfortunately, he took his life because he felt like he couldn't do what he really wanted to do, which is, very sad and unfortunate.
So they kind of combined some things, but so Mike in the movie suffers
Chris
toxic
and
shock
Mike.
syndrome.
Yeah, so it's
suffers
Chris
toxic shock syndrome, brain damage, and then ends up committing suicide. Tim had said that the director was like, "Look, it's just too much to add another."
Well, yeah, apparently, because the one brother drowns. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a little baby brother who
we're spoiling
gets electrocuted and drowns. And
drowned in
when he was 5 or 7 or something, 7,
and Kevin was 5 at the time.
Yeah,
and then I think at that point the director told Kevin Von Erich, the real Kevin Von Erich, like, "Hey man, like, I don't know if we can do like another brother in this movie. Like, it's already too brutal." And apparently Kevin Von Erich was like, "I understand. Like, I get it. Like, it's too gnarly."
Well,
I mean, it's the reason why also people stopped watching World Class Championship Wrestling is they couldn't take it anymore. Like, the fans were like, "We can't watch this. It's too sad."
I mean, Kevin seemed like the most, I don't know, the one who worked on getting out of that, like, I don't even know what to call it, like,
lifestyle,
mental issue, like, everything and like about the family basically, and he got out of it, and seems like
there was a quote that should have been in the movie that is a real life quote.
You want me to say?
And it would have made it, dude. It would have been so good at the part like around the time of Carrie's death. So Tim, say what happens in real life.
The fact that this quote's been in both documentaries. The WWE.
Criminal that it's not in the.
It's criminal that it's not in the movie. Criminal. But this you'll see, Jeremy. You'll be like, "Yeah, that would have been good." So this was in the WWE documentary and the independent documentary that they did, and I think they even did it in Dark Side of the Ring.
Probably.
Apparently, after Carrie took his life, Fritz and Kevin are arguing, and Fritz said to Kevin, "Well, if you had any guts, you'd kill yourself too." And his dad said, or he said to his dad, "No, Dad, it takes guts to keep on living." Which I'm like,
missed opportunity.
Yeah. That would have been a great line.
They could have done it, right in the Carrie scene.
But that's a real quote. And dude, Kevin Von Erich's the man. The fact that this dude lost basically his whole family. It had a horrible, like, weird mid-20s of his life, and then turned it around and has a giant family now, and it seems like he's very happy, and they all
4
moved into
kids,
like a
13
big
grandchildren is what
13
it showed
grandchildren.
at
You
the
know,
end. I
he
think.
went from, he said, that he,
and he did buy the ranch, and everyone lives together like on this big fucking.
yeah. So he
like he talked about in the movie.
At one point he went from having all these brothers, and then he lost everyone, and then he rebuilt like an even bigger family. So like, I'm happy for the guy. He seems like just a nice guy, and I'm glad that his story got to be told.
Yeah. And then one of the last quotes in the movie is fucking heavy when he's watching his kids.
This is a real quote. It's a real quote.
He
actually said that.
Crying.
He said this though. This is a real quote.
Yeah. So he's crying, and the kids come up, and they're like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, I was just thinking, I used to be a brother, and now I'm not a brother anymore." And then his sons were like, "We'll be your brother." It was like, ah.
I know. It's like, oh no.
I think that part killed me when his sons are like, "We'll be your brothers." But I think the real quote that was in the documentary that Kevin said himself was, he said, I used to have 5 brothers, and now I'm not even a brother. So that was his. That's the actual quote. Yeah. Very sad. It was a very sad movie.
So yeah, that's Iron Claw. Very sad, very good. They'll never make a uplifting wrestling movie, I've decided. You got the wrestler.
There will be, yeah.
Unless you want to go watch Ready to Rumble, which is arguably maybe one of the greatest movies ever made.
That's an uplifting movie.
We didn't do our review after WrestleMania. We forgot to add in that we did watch Ready to Rumble in the hotel room. We should have done our review of Ready to Rumble while it was fresh in our minds. It was incredible. Still amazing.
We can watch that for next time.
Yeah.
I think Tim might have made it a classic show of the week to watch one time, though.
Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, let's get into the actual shows now. I figured that Iron Claw would be talked about. I'm probably going to go a little bit quick this week because we got a lot of predictions. But Raw last week was opened by Drew McIntyre, who continued to blame CM Punk and Jey Uso and Damian Priest for his shortcomings. Damian Priest would eventually come out and step up to him. Called him a paper champion. Or no, McIntyre called Damian a paper champion and accepted a challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. This week there was a lot of matches for the 2 tournaments. So Io Sky defeated Shayna Baszler to move on in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Kiana James from NXT arrived to Raw. She was seen backstage. So this is the first time she's been shown on TV. Gunther defeated Kofi Kingston to move on to the semifinals, and Lyra Valkyria defeated Zoe Stark to move on. I will say now, because we're going to be talking about predictions, Lyra versus Io happened this week or tonight as we're recording this, and Lyra won. So she will face the winner of Nia Jax and Bianca on Friday. Let's see. Sami Zayn defeated Otis in a match, and afterwards Chad Gable berated him. I was thinking Otis eventually will go back to being that huge baby face once he turns on Chad Gable and he's had enough. I don't know if you saw tonight, the crowd was chanting for Otis just tonight on Raw, because Chad Gable is such a dick to him.
And it's like, you failed.
Yeah. The Judgment Day defeated the Creed Brothers, New Catch Republic, and Authors of Pain to become #1 contenders, which are having a match tonight against Awesome Truth. And then the main event was really good. It was Jey Uso defeating Ilya Dragunov to move on to the King of the Ring tournament. So I guess tonight, as we're recording, it's going to be Jey Uso versus Gunther to see who advances from the Raw side. All right, that's Raw. I know it was quick, but it's just a lot of the tournament stuff is going on. It's not anything too big.
Yeah.
Fuck
yes, Tim.
Oh no.
I know. Dynamite. House of Black ambush Adam Copeland, and Kyle O'Reilly would try to help.
I want to get my own shirt printed that says "fuck tournaments" on the back. Talk wrestling, Tim.
The
Fuck
Bucks
tournaments.
The
I
Bucks
feel
have
like
a match against.
people would wear
it. Stop wrestling tournaments.
Stop. Yeah,
Stop
we'll make it more
tournaments.
wearable, so people don't have to wear "fuck" on that shirt. How about
stop.
End wrestling tournaments? Stop.
Or
wrestling.
if you make the fuck as in like you don't spell it out all the way, you use like symbols on the U and C or something.
Yeah, there you
go. The Bucks had a match against Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels. And I know we didn't talk about what happened last week with Christopher Daniels, who cut actually a really good backstage promo. One of the best promos compared to like anyone on the main roster. But afterwards, the Bucks, quote unquote, fired Christopher Daniels. Maybe he's just really not going to wrestle on screen anymore and just be backstage. Maybe that's just what it is.
I don't think he needs to wrestle.
Yeah.
He could be a manager or something.
Swerve had a match and was attacked after it by Nick Wayne and Killswitch. And then we had the Willow and Mercedes Moné contract signing. I've said it before. Dude, I did nothing about Mercedes Moné. There's just nothing. I don't care. And I hate her song. And I just don't give a shit about her.
Monet.
Oh. Mercedes Moné.
About her, dude.
I am definitely more.
Like, this is the biggest signing. No.
Yeah.
Not to me.
I'm definitely more in the corner of
the big
Willow.
signing that you had. You ran out. And now he's.
Blew it.
You pissed him off and you ran him out.
With Punk for the first time. Or I did. At Tim's house last night. The DLC pack just came out with Punk. And I played as Punk against AJ Styles. Whooped that ass. I did. Punk won at WrestleMania 39. We wrestled. WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
Yeah.
And the community was out in full force for AJ that night. Let me tell you.
Yeah, his community was out in the audience full force, man, for AJ. But
I saw him. He showed me in the PS5. In the PS5 version, they actually have that in there. It's edited in.
So if you follow Tim
he says
on social media, or maybe he put it on the PW fans, I don't know. He filmed us both playing. We were playing our own individual games on separate TVs. So on one TV you have WWE 2K24. On the other TV,
I'm playing WWF No Mercy. WWF No Mercy for N64.
The graphic comparison is just crazy.
Yeah,
Tim
I was saying
those two are the best wrestling games of all time. By the way,
I think the
current one,
the current 2K, and
how can you not say the current one is not the? I mean,
it's incredible.
No, I have it.
The current 2K and
it was the best.
And
the roster's great.
The one that I was playing, but I still think that mine looks just as good.
Tim's edited some of his guys to have like updated attire.
My WWF
the Rock, the hair off of Triple H.
Yeah, my roster is like if they're still wrestling or still around, they're all like updated to their most recent
what they look like now.
To like what they look like now. I even have Vince with the mustache.
Oh my god!
And dyed hair,
dude. It's detailed.
He has gray hair Vince, but then he gave dark
gray hair Vince, but then I have black hair Vince with the mustache.
Oh my god!
I have Christian. I have Edge now. I have Edge now that looks really good, but I showed Andy, and Andy goes, "Edge now sucks."
Awful. The main event was on Dynamite was Okada retaining the Continental Championship against Dax Harwood. But speaking of Dax Harwood, because we missed, I think it was from last week, we watched a little bit of it last night. I'd already seen it, but Tim hadn't seen it. So Tommy Billington, Dynamite Kid against Dax Harwood, man, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, on Collision.
He's the first Dynamite Kid's nephew. I know they're not like father and son, but man, does he look like him? Wrestles like him, attitude, like in the ring. That was a really. It was
kind of crazy.
Also, why does Dax always wrestle and never cash in singles matches?
I have no idea. I noticed that too. I don't know. Cash had to go clear up some charges.
Some gun charges, man.
Yeah.
I remember,
All right, let's get into SmackDown.
Or which one's the bald one? Dax.
Dax.
Dax like tweeted like everybody congratulate Cash Wheeler on the charges being like cleared. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, why are you bringing this up? Everybody forgot about it, and now you're just.
They said it after a show.
But
I said after a show, and the crowd's like, "He's not guilty."
Jesus.
Oh, and I guess I should write this in too because
I had forgotten that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Dynamite went over time limit, so I recorded and I didn't get to see it. But I guess Cesaro or Claudio's hurt, so they had to find a fourth member for Anarchy in the Arena, and then we had a returning Darby Allin.
Who got hit by a bus 2 weeks before that. That's not funny, but it's like
Tony. Tony.
He got hit by a bus and he's like, Darby, I need you. I know you just got hit by a car, but like, I need you.
Dude, we were listening to something last night, and dude, the television views are so bad.
The television views? Oh, the viewers?
The AEW. We were listening to something.
It's around that
about
700, 800,000 range.
It was 650.
Right? For Dynamite?
Yeah.
We're watching a slow death.
Oh, man.
Like you guys said in the chat, even Brian Alvarez was like, I can't.
Honestly, guys, I never thought I'd see the day where they would make a full turn on AEW. So it was crazy to see Brian Alvarez like fully roast them. Except at the end, he like tried to save it. He's like, "Look, if you just want to watch great wrestling, then go ahead and watch AEW." But
yeah.
Like, okay, you just roasted him for 5 minutes, and now at the end he's like, "Look, their stories make no sense, but look, week to week, it's great."
What did Bischoff say about Mercedes?
Oh no, Conrad was like, I know we don't normally criticize current stuff, but what the fuck are they doing with Mercedes Moné? And then Eric Bischoff was like, it was horrible. He's like, it was horrible. He's like, why do they have her talking?
Yeah, this was like from like 2 weeks ago, her segment.
Like every single week too.
And I just find her annoying.
Conrad was like, I mean, I think her value is in the ring. The problem is we haven't seen her wrestle yet.
I love the accent.
That's a perfect accent for it.
Dude, he's listened to hours and days worth of Conrad.
Conrad, I love you. Make us part of ad-free shows, please. The PW fan, brother. Unedited. We're gonna tell it like it is, brother. Come on. Sign us up.
So let's get into SmackDown. Brother. Let's get into SmackDown. Bianca Belair defeated Tiffany Stratton to move on to the Queen of the Ring tournament. Tama Tonga defeats LA Knight to move on. We had Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul contract signing, which Logan Paul apparently was not happy with the contract that was offered, so he brought his own. And it is not going to be for both titles. It is just going to be for Cody's, of course. So Cody ended up signing it. I know Cody talked some shit, basically saying that Jake Paul is going to lose to Mike Tyson, and then like the next day or whatever, Logan's going to lose to
Jake Paul. Going to get knocked out.
Please.
Speaking of the tournament,
I'm manifesting a 60-year-old Mike Tyson knocking out Jake Paul.
Knocking out Jake Paul.
Please.
It's going to be live on Netflix.
Can move.
It's going to be free for everyone.
It's on Netflix?
Yeah, it's a Netflix live thing.
What?
On
Friday?
All the comments are like, all the comments are like, I know it's probably fixed, but I really hope he loses control in the first minute.
Two mics. Speaking of though, the next pay-per-view coming up in Jeddah. So there's been all the QR codes, and one of the recent ones, if you scan it, it gives you a number, and that number, just like when they did with Bray coming back, is the like area code or postal code or whatever to that area. And so when Bray came back, it was like the area code or postal code to wherever Extreme Rules was. And this one is Jeddah. the numbers match up. So I think Uncle Howdy or Bo Dallas or whatever is going to be debuting back.
Yeah.
This Saturday
in Saudi
I
Arabia.
think so.
Yeah.
But how's he going to debut? Do you think during a match or like just at the end of the show?
I'm looking at some of the matches.
They've done that a lot of the past few times with the end of the show, like Punk.
Well, there's only 3 male matches, unless he does that at the end of the show like Bray did.
Yeah.
I can't really think of how it would make sense with some of these the male matches that are on, but yeah, we'll see. Nia Jax defeated Jade Cargill via DQ. This was done to protect. So basically, Nia would grab a chair during their match. Jade grabbed it first and used it. It was a way, I guess, to protect Jade. And I was worried about this. I was like, I wonder what they're going to do. So if Jade had won, she would face Bianca next week. Just in a SmackDown. You don't want to have them face each other for the first time in a SmackDown match.
Yeah.
So it keeps Jade from going against Bianca. And so now you have Bianca versus Nia Jax to face Lyra Valkyria.
You know what's crazy?
Backstage,
I just saw this.
Yeah.
That Clash of the Castles in Glasgow in Scotland. Backlash was in France. This next one's going to be in Saudi Arabia. Like that's kind of crazy. They're having pay-per-views in different countries every month, almost basically now.
Yeah,
I think that's the plan. So Money in the Bank 2024 will be in Toronto, which would be
everybody,
the next one, right?
a lot of people bitch about them going over to Saudi Arabia, but I'll say this: if the crowd in Saudi Arabia can muster up the energy to go just as fucking hard as the French crowd, I think everybody will be cool
They're
with
not
it.
going to do that.
No, they're not going to. But what I'm saying is,
All the sheiks are going to be there and on their couches.
Yeah, so I think what they
where's
wanted.
Macho? Where's Andre?
I think what I read. Besides the big 4, they wanted to go kind of like other countries.
Yeah.
Because SummerSlam is August 3rd, and that's in Cleveland. But then August 31st is Bash in Berlin, so that's in Germany.
That's cool.
So I think that's kind
and then
of.
they got
sick.
WrestleMania in Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know what other ones are coming, but I'm sure Gunther will be heavily involved in Bash in Berlin.
Yeah,
even though he's not German, he's Austrian, but Ludwig Kaiser's German.
Close enough.
So AJ Styles was shown backstage saying he doesn't know what's next for him. I did read an interview. He was saying that he'd like to face The Rock, but only if The Rock turned to a hard baby face, and AJ was wanting to be a super vicious heel. He said. Can you imagine The Rock versus AJ Styles? That's me playing with That's me playing with action figures back in the day. Is putting an AJ Styles figure
Tony
up
Khan's
against The
book
Rock.
it.
Yeah.
He's like,
doesn't matter what the story
Why
is.
did I think of that first?
book it. They're next week on Dynamite. It's gonna be AJ Styles versus The Rock.
It's an eliminator match.
The
Did you read this? I read
for the Owen Hart tournament.
I read something the other day that Tony Khan said something along the lines during the Rumble at the time of the Royal Rumble. He's people better not be watching that. He didn't want people to be watching the Royal Rumble, I guess.
Like his own people?
Yeah.
Tony, we're watching the Rumble, brother.
It's the Rumble.
It's the Rumble.
Also,
dude. Sorry.
Everyone watches the Rumble. You watch the Rumble and you watch Mania.
Yeah, he's the one who said that we should all enjoy wrestling.
He's like, don't you dare watch that shit.
And then, so then the main event of SmackDown was Randy Orton defeating Tama Tonga to move on in the tournament. Tama, I didn't know he in New Japan. Apparently, he does that thing that he was doing backstage. So he's like,
I don't like that. I don't like
it. It's weird. He's like, all right. That's what he does. And people were like, what the fuck is that? And other people were like, he's been doing that in New Japan his entire career. I was like, all right, well.
Yeah, I don't. Let's not be
it
that
seems
anymore.
like a rabid
Hey,
animal.
here's an old quote that I haven't busted out in a long time. We don't do that here, okay? So don't do that.
Won't do that.
I've used that I've used that quote many times in my life, usually for music stuff, like somebody will bring something to the table where it's like this bad idea where it's like dun 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 dun, and I'll just like look at them and I'll be like, we don't do that here, but maybe we could find somewhere else for it.
So that's the weekly shows. Let's do the predictions. Let's start with the King and Queen of the Ring. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. Cody Rhodes. If you say Logan Paul, you're an idiot.
Cody.
I mean, Cody.
I was gonna say
come
even
on.
if the US title was on the line too, I would say Cody.
If the Heat,
Becky Lynch versus Liv.
if the heat of Cody losing to Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia wouldn't even be good. Wouldn't even be good heat. It'd be like bad heat, like bad. Like I'm mad at WWE Heat. Tony's like,
Everyone should be like,
please do it, please.
Becky Lynch
like
versus
Brad
Liv
Pitt.
Morgan.
Tony's like, please
For the
come back,
women's
guys.
world.
We're still over here Wednesday nights. Dynamite. We got a great show for you.
It's a great show, man.
Great show for it.
Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the women's world championship.
Becky Lynch.
I assume that Liv was supposed to be facing Rhea if Rhea hadn't gotten hurt, and they're just like, we'll just continue this. All right. Intercontinental Championship
that's my
triple
best
threat.
Tony Khan. Thanks, guys. Tonight.
He's like reading a script.
Yeah.
He's trying to be all serious.
It's always thanks.
And he's had enough of you.
And he's out. He can't take any more thanks, guys.
Walk out the door.
Everything's great. Great ratings. Great show. Great roster. Great cocaine.
Is that neck brace?
It's going to be a great rating. Great show.
WWE's Harvey Weinstein.
If you're only listening to this, I'm wearing a neck brace right now. That's why.
And he just has a neck brace in the back of his room.
He's having neck problems.
Neck problems. I'm turning my head too much. All right. Triple threat Intercontinental Championship match. Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed. Not Bronson Reed. I'll say that.
No, I think Sammy still.
Sami retains.
Chad Gable
turn on Chad Gable.
He'll have it. No, I don't. I think he'll have a one-on-one with Sammy at the next.
And then
area.
and then Otis turns.
Yeah.
I need Chad Gable.
Taylor.
It's all right if he loses this one, but I need him to win a title or something soon. They got to pull the trigger on this guy. Just do it. Give him a shot.
Yeah.
There's a dachshund in the very cute dachshund in the screen.
All right. So who do you think the King of the Ring tournament comes down to? Already, it's either going to be Gunther or Jay. Who do you think wins the semifinals? Gunther or Jay? Gunther to move on to the finals.
Gunther, yeah.
Gunther beats Jay. All right. So
Yeah.
then on SmackDown we're going to have Tama Tonga versus Randy. I said King of the Ring comes down to Gunther versus Randy, but then I think Gunther wins.
Yeah, I think so too. Randy doesn't
Gunther
need
versus
it.
Randy is going to be awesome if that happens.
Yeah. Like Randy doesn't need to win it, so Gunther I think needs it more anyways. After losing.
Tim, thoughts?
This is a tough one.
Do you think it comes down to Gunther or Randy?
Yeah, but then like you guys were saying, I think Gunther wins.
Yeah. All right. Queen of the Ring tournament final. We now know it's Lyra Valkyria, and she's going to face either Nia Jax or Bianca. I'm going Bianca, and then I'm saying Bianca beats Lyra.
Yeah, I think Bianca wins as well. I just don't want to see Nia Jax in the final of this.
God, dude, the fridge.
Oh man.
I heard her get called that last night in a certain podcast we were listening to, and now I can't not.
There's a podcast that we listen to that referred to her as the refrigerator. We won't mention any names.
But if you'd like to join a cult, you can.
Yeah, if you want to join the cult, you can look it up. So
I think Bianca.
I guess. Yeah, Bianca, but they're really. Jokes aside, they want to make something happen with Nia. Just don't think it's there. You know, like
she's not like most girls.
Okay.
Wait, what'd you say?
She's not like most girls.
That was her old theme music. I'm not like most girls.
That wasn't actually bad.
I'm not like
better than Mercedes Moné.
You know, like CEO.
No, it's terrible. And then she starts singing it herself. Awful.
You don't want to see Tim dancing like this, do it?
No. He's doing the swerve dance.
Everybody watching on video had to fast forward from the cringe. They couldn't take it. They're like, bruh, all right. They're like, let me hit the 10-second skip button.
They're like, all right, wrap it up. All right, we'll wrap it up with Double or Nothing predictions. You ready?
All right.
Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta in just a regular singles match.
Pockets.
Trent Beretta requested it to be a normal match.
Pockets.
I think Trent should win. You're going with
pockets?
Your little dog pockets?
Yeah, I gotta go with my little dog pockets always. He's Tony's favorite.
John Moxley versus Takeshita in an IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. Also,
jokes
aside, last night.
Jokes aside, you and I were talking last night. This is a good card. It should be a good show.
It always is.
We say that every time.
Always fun.
I wish there were stories leading up to it.
Wait, remember last time? I was telling Andy before we started recording. I'm like, it was like 4 weeks ago where we were like, this is it. They have the chance right now to make it better, and
they didn't capitalize on it.
Nothing.
The next night they had Swerve not open up the show.
All right, that's gonna go down right there. Them putting on that all-time classic pay-per-view and then making that blunder of a Dynamite on a Wednesday is gonna go down as one of Tony Khan's biggest failures that he ever did, because that was,
and it was easy too, because you just put Swerve to open the show.
Just give him a mic in the ring with a suit on, looking like a bad. What are you doing? Why would you not do that?
Yeah,
I feel like Jerry
wrestled it like
Jerry. What are you doing? Please, please.
We all turn the sign out.
So, also, didn't we hear last night, Tim? Wasn't Takeshita over in Japan talking about how the booking was bad in AEW?
Yeah.
Or how he was getting booked?
God, dude, it's terrible. God, I don't know what to do anymore.
He said he enjoyed what he only wrestled for a year or 3 years. He said, and he's like, I didn't enjoy it at all. He's like, the 12 years in Japan was so much better.
Than just the 3 years.
Tony's like, damn it, I should have had him sign an NDA. Why did I not have him sign an NDA?
So do you think Moxley retains?
Yeah.
Tim?
Yeah, of course. I like Moxley, minus the only thing I everybody's like, oh, he's a Cornette guy, so he doesn't.
You said this last night.
But the only thing I don't like with Moxley is when he does the skewers in the head. Other than that, I don't mind it.
What do you guys think about the belt design for the IWGP one?
I hate it.
I don't mind it.
It reminds me of. I hate it. It reminds me of the Divas title and the Butterfly, and
I can see that. Okay.
And I don't know. I think that classic IWGP title, that's what I picture in my head. I'm like, the fact that they're not using that is crazy.
That's true.
Speaking of Blood and Moxley, I saw something a little bit before we started recording, and it was just someone complaining about AEW and Blood every week. They were like, I don't remember, or they were someone was like, well, clearly you didn't watch ECW, and the person was like, I did watch ECW. I don't remember Jack Swagger or Sheamus bleeding all the time.
Yeah, I remember. I was like, no.
We have a whole
Oh,
dissertation
that's rough.
on blood. Do we have time for that?
All right, and my least favorite fucking match: Anarchy in the Arena, the Elite versus FTR, Bryan Danielson, and Darby Allin. I guess the Elite. I'm going with the Elite. They've been being pushed themselves.
I think they're gonna have to win.
They've
the
been
elite.
pushing themselves.
I guess
They pushed them.
I guess I'll go with the elite. You know, since they've been pushing themselves.
Do you guys think whose
We're
music is
gonna have
gonna play?
Okada lose.
Whose music are you gonna play over and over again?
John Moxley's not even in the match, and they'll just play Wild Thing the whole time.
Play his music still.
God. Yeah, the
I really
worst
hope
one
I'm wrong.
ever. There was a match where I got so pissed off watching it one time I had to fast forward through it because it was like nails on a chalkboard. There was a match where New Jack faces Bam Bam Bigelow, and they just keep playing New Jack's music over and over again, and it's like this like early 90s gangster rap where it's like and has like this like fucking beat going, and I'm like, dude, turn this off. After like the 100th time, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to skip the match. But yeah, that wasn't
that all his matches for New Jack?
Yeah, you keep the song going. You fight with music, and then you roll out.
Yeah.
Or you fight with the music and weapons.
There's a new episode of Rivals that recorded.
And then you stab
Hulk Hogan versus The Rock.
Then you stab a 17-year-old in the head with a.
All right, the next match.
True story.
Which this is actually going to probably be a really cool match. It's for the TNT Championship, Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black for the first time ever, but they're going straight into a barbed wire steel cage. Why is Edge doing this at his age? But, all right.
I mean, that's because he wants to now.
I'm going Malachi.
Dude, Edge is having fun with Uncle Jay, okay? He's doing steel cage, barbed wire, thumbtack matches, getting tombstoned by a lizard. He's having a good time.
Who you got as a winner?
Edge.
I think Edge.
Going Malachi. I think because I want Malachi to win.
He's never held a singles title in AEW.
Mordecai.
Not Mordecai, it's Malachi.
Remember Mordecai, though?
Yeah, Mordecai was a different guy. That was the...
It was the Undertaker, but all white.
Yeah, albino Undertaker.
Albino.
I made him in one of our games. I was like a fan of him in the beginning.
You were a fan of him?
Dude, yeah. I was like, I can't wait for him to face the Undertaker.
Andy loved it. Andy loved that dude. He thought he was...
Anyway. All right, the next match, which I think is going to be...
out now.
I'm calling it now. It's going to be the best wrestling match on the card. It's probably going to steal the show, and that's Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay for the international title.
Oh yeah, I think
it's going to be the best match on the card.
Yeah, Will Ospreay will win. I think that's just because he can't lose right now.
He hasn't lost yet. I think Will takes the title from Roderick.
Yeah.
But I think the match is going to steal the entire show.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy
Tim,
match.
Thoughts?
Roderick.
Roderick being Will Ospreay?
Yeah. I'm going to go sleeper here.
Now, is it because Adam Cole is cleared and starts a feud with Will Ospreay?
That's what I'm thinking.
You know how good that would be?
Were you actually thinking that, or did it sound good when Andy said it?
It sounded pretty good when he said it, actually.
Tim's like, he said it, I thought it, that's my thoughts, what he said.
That's my thought.
He was thinking my thought, dude. He said my thought, so I came up with it.
Obviously. I just didn't know how to articulate it, but like...
Dude.
I didn't know how to articulate how Adam Cole would come and beat Will Ospreay.
I didn't know how to put that sentence together.
Will Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné. Does Mercedes win or lose her first match in AEW?
She has to win, which sucks for Willow,
But
though.
Willow just got the title.
I know. I hate this.
And they've wrestled a million times outside of AEW, feels like.
Yeah. I like Willow actually a lot, but I don't know.
Mercedes is like, I'm not signing this contract unless my first match I win a title.
Yeah.
And then I'll leave the company with.
And then Tony Khan's like, "That's fine. I just need to be within 6 feet of you during interviews."
Don't forget to hug me afterwards.
Yeah.
Also, I love it.
All right. Tony Storm versus Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb is not. Also, I love you. Serena Deeb is not beating Tony Storm. But I'm hoping Britt Baker comes back. Keep it together, guys. But also, I love you.
I don't know why that made me laugh.
Because you wouldn't put it past him.
I know. I could just hear him saying that. Whew. All right.
You think it's time for someone like Britt Baker or Jamie Hayter to come back?
Yeah, you see Britt Baker with DDP? She looked like she was in really good shape.
Yeah. I feel like she needs to come back at the end of this match and go for Tony Storm.
Yeah. Or
I'd
maybe
rather
Mercedes.
see Britt Baker than Mercedes any day on TV.
And
nowadays, this isn't. Sometimes.
I hope Britt Baker one day goes to
This is what I'm starting to figure out, guys. Sometimes people leave the magical land of the WWE and they try to do the same thing, and it's just not the same. And unfortunately, I think Edge is an example of that. I think Mercedes, and then you have some people that no matter where they go, they have a following. So people like Kenny, people like CM Punk, people like Jon Moxley. But then there's some people that they're good in the context of that. Like, I feel like if Randy Orton came to AEW, the same thing would happen to him. It wouldn't be the same. Yeah. Something about it. It's just like.
Yeah. You know, there's like that whole thing before, especially when Vince was still there, when people were like, there was a bunch of wrestlers like, oh, they're being held back and like they need to see them in AEW and everything. I think the biggest one was Miro, which is an example of like, maybe he just wasn't that great, really.
You know, him and Lana are divorced now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's my hot, sexy wife.
The main event of Double or Nothing is going to be Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. Swerve. And that does it, boyos.
Well, boyos,
take us out.
I got a classic show of the week for you. I'm taking you all the way back. The year was 2003, and the pay-per-view is No Way Out 2003. So let's run through this card. Bunch of familiar names. Actually, I would say pretty much everybody who listens to this show, this will be a familiar name.
Is this the No Way Out before 19?
After.
No Way Out's always before. Backlash is after. At least back then.
Oh, wait, no, this is before 19. Yeah, you're right.
You get Hogan and Rock again.
Yeah. So Rey Mysterio versus Jamie Noble.
Rey Mysterio,
baby. Rey Mysterio. Nidia, baby. Yeah, Nidia. Yeah, you get him, boy. You make out with him and give him some tongue, boy. All right, that's what.
Easy, Tim.
Dude, Jamie Noble's promos were out of pocket back then. He's like, yeah,
he was crazy.
Yeah, come on, girl, give it to him, yeah. Jeff Hardy against Chris Jericho. Young versions of both gentlemen. Don't think of them
that's
now.
when he swings on the hook.
Yes. Lance Storm and William Regal against Kane and Rob Van Dam. Matt Hardy with Shannon Moore against Billy Kidman.
Oh wow, Shannon Moore.
Yep. Big Show versus The Undertaker. Here we go. This one's a little bit crazy. Brock Lesnar and Chris Benoit against Team Angle, Kurt Angle, Charlie Haas, and Shelton Benjamin. Ooh, it's like a cancel matches heaven right there. Triple H with Ric Flair against Scott Steiner, which was a lot of people accuse this of being the match that Triple H sandbagged Steiner and tried to make Scott look bad. You know, again, that's all just rumor and innuendo. Here's an all-time classic. Terrible match, but great entertainment. Stone Cold Steve Austin against Eric Bischoff. And
I remember that match.
Yep. And then the last match of the night, which Andy already kind of hinted at, is you have Rock versus Hogan 2. A lot of people...
It's a WrestleMania rematch.
I feel like a lot of people don't even know this match exists.
But it's yellow and red Hogan this time against The Rock.
That's the thing. It's the rematch of WrestleMania 18, but it's yellow and red Hogan versus Hollywood heel Rock. So it's a little bit of a different dynamic than the original, which was like classic Rock versus NWO Hogan. So this one's a little bit different, which, you know, again, match quality, are they putting on 7 stars Dave Meltzer's in the Tokyo Dome? No. But it's a fun throwback. So enjoy.
Which is interesting you brought that up, though, is because there was I said earlier in the show, there's a new Rivals episode that just recorded, and it's Hogan versus Rock. So I'm sure that match will be like the end of the rivalry stuff.
Oh, then cool. Then it's current. We're doing something that's current events. Well, hope you all enjoyed this week's episode. We will see you all next week for episode 131. I am Tim. We are also the Beast. And we are also Jack. How's all of our TikTok followers doing? And we will see you guys next week.